the last 8 years to suffer through more failed leadership. No way, no how, no McCain. Barack Obama must be our president to fight for an America that is defined by deep and meaningful equality, from civil rights to labor rights, from women's rights to gay rights, and make our government an institution of the public good, not of private plunder.
With profound gratitude and great humility, I accept your nomination for presidency of the United States. We meet at one of those defining moments, a moment when the American promise has been threatened once more. We are more compassionate than a government that lets families slide into poverty, that sits on its hands while a major American city drowns before our eyes. We are here because we love this country too much to let the next 4 years look just like the last 8. 8 is enough. For over 2 decades, he subscribed to that old discredited Republican philosophy. Give more and more to those with the most and hope that prosperity trickles down to everyone else. Tough luck, you're on your own. No health care, the market will fix it, you're on your own. Born into poverty, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, even if you don't have boots. I am my brother's keeper. I am my sister's keeper. That's the promise we need to keep. I will cut taxes for 95% of all working families. And for the sake of our economy, our security, and the future of our planet, I will set a clear goal as president. In 10 years, we will finally end our dependence on oil from the Middle East. And I'll invest $150 billion over the next decade in affordable, renewable sources of energy. Investment that will lead to new industries and 5 million new jobs. Now is the time to finally keep the promise of affordable, accessible health care for every single American. You'll be able to get the same kind of coverage that members of Congress give themselves. And now is the time to keep the promise of equal pay for an equal day's work, because I want my daughters to have the exact same opportunities as your sons. Individual responsibility and mutual responsibility. That's the essence of America's promise. And just as we keep our promise to the next generation here at home, so must we keep America's promise abroad. I will build new partnerships to defeat the threats of the 21st century: terrorism and nuclear proliferation, poverty and genocide, climate change and disease. And I will restore our moral standing so that America is once again that last best hope for all who are called to the cause of freedom, who long for lives of peace, and who yearn for a better future. So let us agree that patriotism has no party. The men and women who served have fought together and bled together under the same proud flag. They have not served a red America or a blue America. They have served the United States of America. The promise of a democracy where we can find the strength and grace to bridge divides and unite in common effort. I know there are those who dismiss such beliefs as happy talk. They claim that our insistence on something larger, something firmer and more honest in our public life is just a Trojan horse for higher taxes and the abandonment of traditional values. And that's to be expected. If you don't have a record to run on, then you paint your opponent as someone people should run from. What the naysayers don't understand is that this election has never been about me. It's about you. And at defining moments like this one, the change we need doesn't come from Washington. Change comes to Washington. It's that promise that 45 years ago today brought Americans from every corner of this land to stand together on a mall in Washington before Lincoln's memorial and hear a young preacher from Georgia speak of his dream. We cannot turn back. America, we cannot turn back. Not with so much work to be done.
I have a dream. One day, this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time.
For me, this is a season of hope. This is the cause of my life, that we will break the old gridlock and guarantee that every American, north, south, east, west, young, old, will have decent, quality health care as a fundamental right and not a privilege. Barack Obama will be a commander-in-chief who understands that young Americans in uniform must never be committed to a mistake.
John McCain is now openly endorsing the policies of the Bush-Cheney White House and promising to actually continue them. Hey, I believe in recycling, but that's ridiculous. But the last 8 years demonstrate that the special interests who have come to control the Republican Party are so powerful that serving them and serving the national well-being are now irreconcilable choices.
When I triumphed, my mother was quick to remind me it was because of others. My mother's creed is the American creed. No one is better than you. Everyone is your equal. And in the Senate, John has voted with President Bush 95%. And that is very hard to believe. At the same time, John voted again and again against renewable energy, solar, wind, biofuels. That's not change. That's more of the same. He voted 19 times against the minimum wage. For that's not change. That's more of the same.
A President Obama will choose diplomacy first and military force as a last resort. People the world over have always been more impressed by the power of our example than by the example of our power.
The work begins anew.
Now is the time to be the change you want in the world. Do something. Volunteer a couple of hours on the net